Hi, you're watching ET Markets. Welcome to a brand new episode of IPO Talk, where we discuss the latest IPOs in town and much more. I'm your host, Neha Vashisht Mahajan, and today we will talk about Voler Cars, which recently concluded its SME IPO in the markets. Now, to understand more about the company and its future prospects, let's welcome Mr. Vikas Paras Rampuria. He is the whole-time director at Voler Cars. Thank you so much, Vikas, for taking out time and joining us today on ET Markets.
Thank you, Neha. Thank you for having me here.
Well, the pleasure is all mine. So let's quickly start our conversation. Let's start with a brief about Voler Cars. What is the business about and what is the business model? And then we'll talk about what was the primary motivation behind taking it public.
Sure. So, Voler Car Limited is a leading employee transportation services provider, catering to large MNCs, large IT and ITES companies, and corporate clients. The company was founded in 2010 by me, and the company specializes primarily into home to office and office to home transport solutions for the employees of these large companies. And of
Oh,
course, we have been asset light, and we have been working on an asset light model. We have about 2,500 cars, and these
hmm.
are all asset light pooled cars in about 9 different cities, which is Delhi, NCR, Mumbai, Kolkata, Bhubaneswar, Pune, and other couple of other cities. Our services are powered by 247 support, dedicated location teams, GPS and panic trigger systems, high-end AI systems to optimize routes for our clients. And our major clients are largely
Hmm.
Fortune 500 clients like TCS, Wipro,
Okay.
Accenture. We have served IBM in the past. We serve companies like Flipkart, Amazon. So all these are clients across different geographies. And to
That
talk
sounds
about
amazing. Yeah, please continue.
the business model, as I said, we are a completely asset light model. Majority of our
Hmm.
vehicles are sourced from third party vendors. This
Okay.
helps us in optimizing our seat utilization, reducing operational cost, and also scaling efficiently. Because of being asset
Hmm.
light, we can scale very fast. We can penetrate in different cities without having too much of capex or debt on our books. And our USP is the cost per boarded employee model, where clients are
Hmm.
charged per employee rather than a fixed fee, which gives them a
Okay.
flexibility, and it helps us with a steady revenue stream for us as a company.
All right. So, Vikas, now that we've talked about the business model, let's also talk about the financials of the company
Yes.
because a lot of retail investors must be interested in knowing what's happening in terms of financials. Please take us through the recent performance of Vola.
So we were at about 24 crores in FY22, and FY24 we closed about the revenue at about 31.45 crores. And of
Hmm.
course, our profit has been consistently increasing from 78 lakhs to now. FY24 we booked a profit of 3.5 crore. That's I'm talking of PAT. And
Hmm.
our earning per share has also consistently grown from 1 rupee per share to 4.7 1 rupee per share, even after issuing bonus. And for the current year, September numbers, where we filed our IPO, we saw that we did about 22, 23 odd crores, and we are in line to
Hmm.
achieve a 30% year on year growth. That is our core
Hmm.
target. So financially, for the investors, I would say that we are a completely debt-free business. There is no long-term borrowings with
Okay.
us. We have healthy cash reserves as on September 30th. When pre-IPO, we had a cash of about 5.5 crore rupees, and we are strengthening our financial stability post IPO to grow into different markets.
All right. So let's also talk a little bit more about the business model. You mentioned a few things. I want to talk about those things in a detailed manner as well. So, with a lot of rising demand for premium employee transportation, do you see Vola shift from its asset light model to an owned fleet approach for better control?
No, we will continue to be asset light model, and because
Okay.
it eliminates fixed costs, it maximizes revenues for us, and it
Hmm.
also offers lot of financial flexibility as a company to adapt to changing market conditions. Like earlier, we had a lot of ICE vehicles. Today, you see there are a lot of EV vehicles, and
Hmm.
God willing, there will be hydrogen fueled vehicles also in next few years.
Yeah.
So you have to, when you are asset light, you can quickly adapt to the demand of the client, quickly sort of pivot your model very quickly, and that will be our key and core. That has been our key and core strength. And of course, Voler expands its vendor partnerships very efficiently to scale our operations. So, yeah,
Hmm.
we will be asset light to answer your question here.
All right. You also mentioned about your revenue model, which relies on cost per boarded employee, also known as
Yes.
CPBE. How do you maintain high cab occupancy to maximize the margins?
Yeah, so largely, we optimize our occupancy rates through intelligent routing, if I would say.
Hmm.
And when I say intelligent routing, it is pre-planned employee routing. So, like, how can we have a car share more employees in a single route without giving them any sort of hassle? Their travel time is reduced. And also,
Hmm.
there is dynamic routing and rerouting. So, like, if employees are scheduled and accommodated quickly, if they are coming and we know that they have to go in a certain route, so our routing systems are extremely dynamic, and we do it very intelligently. And of course, only pickup and drop services, clients get very cost effective transport solutions when we do on a CPP model, because it's not, they don't have to pay a fixed cost for a car. They only
Okay.
pay when an employee boards a car. It's like a
Hmm.
Ola share or Uber share. Like every time you board a car, then only you pay us. So even if
Hmm.
in a hybrid kind of a working model where employees don't want to come 3 days a week, why would a client pay for a fixed cost for a whole of the month? He would only want to pay for the car that he has used or for a service that he has used. And of course,
Absolutely.
with technology around, and with the kind of vendor partnership and asset light model, we are very, very capable of executing this very efficiently, and we maintain about 70% plus cab utilization rates, which helps us
Hmm.
higher revenue for each trip for us as well as a company.
All right. Now let's talk about something crucial, which is safety for men as well as for women. But let's talk about women first. Especially for women commuters, it is a very big concern, especially when we talk about India. A lot of women today also refrain from traveling in cabs. So, what measures are being taken by a Voler?
Yeah, so you know, Voler has always been a company which prioritizes security and prioritizes women safety. So
Hmm.
our we have a priority drop protocol where women are never dropped last, as in they will always be dropped first, and they will, if they are if they're being dropped last, there will be security guard. If they will never be picked first, so we have a priority drop protocol for women, and plus there are technologies today advanced. So there are GPS tracking systems, and there are panic
Hmm.
buttons inside the car. There are panic
Okay.
buttons through the mobile applications of the employees as well, where they can trigger a panic button. They can continuously rate our services, rate the behavior of the driver, so that it does not lead to any untoward incident in the future as well. And of course, beyond that, there are a lot of things which goes behind the scenes, like how we verify our drivers, how we verify our fleet, how we do their background and criminal checks, so that there is no bad mole in the system. And also, we have a 247 customer support and incident response team, which helps us ensuring real time monitoring of the whole operations, ensuring a very strict and safe environment for our women employees who are traveling with us.
Hmm. All right. You also talked about the clientele of Polar. You have major clients like Wipro, TCS, Cognizant, and IBM, and they all operate in a competitive space. What are the strategies that helped you retain them?
Yeah, so you know, one is high. Our services, you can see, we need high service reliability, because if employees of a client is going at morning 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. or 2 a.m. and you don't
Hmm.
get cabs, they have to. So our services have to be very reliable. 99%
Right.
uptime is something that we promise to our clients. Like 99.99% times we will provide you with an on-time service. So
Hmm.
that kind of an SLA brings a lot of trust with these Fortune 500 clients. They feel that, okay, this is a partner we want who can always be there for us. So that's one of the strategy that we use to retain. Apart from that, as I said, we have a flexible corporate pricing, because pricing today plays a very important role as well. So our pricing is cost per boarded model, our trip model. We offer nearly all different kind of pricing models to our clients to make sure that whatever way they feel comfortable with the pricing, we are there to offer them. And third, and the most important thing, what we offer is an end-to-end transport management, which is, when
Hmm.
we say end-to-end, we offer the fleet, we offer the manpower, we offer the software, the app, everything all together. So the client does not have to go anywhere else. They have
Okay.
to we can fulfill all their needs under one roof. That is what has helped us in retaining all our strategic partnerships so far.
All right. Now, let's also talk about competitors in the market. With Uber and Ola expanding their corporate partnerships, how does Voler differentiate itself in the B2B employee transport segment?
So very clearly, Voler is only focused on corporate clients, unlike Ola and Uber, which is largely D2C, which is direct to customer market. And for Ola and Uber is a largely a daytime business, and ours is a nighttime business. So Ola and Uber, in fact, has helped us to maintain, get us better supplies. You know, in the day uh, these drivers or these cars are deployed for normal commuters, and in the night these same cars which have like a
Hmm.
good quality level, which are well governed, they can be put into our corporate use as well, and there the fleet is also cross utilized, and there is a higher fleet utilization also. And of course, I would say that there is as you just mentioned about safety, corporate compliance and stuff like that, and very key and high level on time scenario and key focus teams for these bigger Fortune 500 clients who are managing the employees. We are very very well placed to handle the competition like Ola and Uber, and with 99% operational reliability on critical BCP days. When I say BCP days, means days like there are floods, days where there are elections. So Voler always ensures uninterrupted transport services. That helps us, keeps an edge over everything else.
All right. So, Vikas, for the investors who are interested in putting their money in Voler, what key milestones is Voler Cars targeting in the next 2 to 3 years?
So I would say I have five key things for the investors. One
Sure.
is expansion into new cities. That is, we have already started expanding in Bangalore. We have already signed our contract: Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Chandigarh, and Surat. So these are five different
Hmm.
cities, that tier one and tier two cities, where we'll get our massive growth from. We are
Hmm.
doing a massive fleet expansion on the electric vehicles, and that to an asset light model, where we'll not be having any fixed cost, and that is the way future for a sustainable growth. Third is
Hmm.
increased revenues. As I mentioned that we have had a last 3-4 years of 12% about CAGR, which is our industry growth, but we have beaten that, and this year we have done 30%. So we will continue doing that, I can say, with the present outlook that we have for the business and with the present contracts that we have. And of course, the fourth and the most important one is the technology upgrade. So enhancing our
Hmm.
solution, enhancing our route algorithm, enhancing our automation tool. And the fifth and most important point for me personally is brand building and operational excellence. So these are five things investors can expect. Will help us get these initiatives for growth and drive long term value for all our investors.
All right. So I have a follow-up question when it comes to the expansion plans. Despite strong IT demand in the south, you mentioned about your plans to expand in Bangalore also, but Volar is mainly in northwest and east India. So what is the reason for this absence, and what are the plans ahead?
So we have had our fair share of play in these markets in the past, but
Hmm.
as COVID entered, we had to exit those markets. So we
Okay.
understand these markets very well. But now, since COVID is over, we have and the demand for employee transportation is again back with its
Hmm.
within complete upswing. So what we feel is that we are already entering these markets. We know these markets, and our upcoming expansion plans include, as I said, key markets like Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Chennai, and of course tier two markets like Vizag and Mangalore as well, in
Okay.
Mysore, which is also becoming an IT hub. So this moves aligns our strategy of capturing high demand corporate mobility markets. So that's the only thing which I can say for this right now.
All right. So before we close our session, one last thing I wanted to discuss is about SME IPOs. Now, some investors have previously lost their money in SME IPOs. Most of them are now doubtful about the nature of SME IPOs. What will be your response to such investors, and how would you assure them that your IPO is a fair and transparent effort to raise funds for growth?
Uh, to be honest, what I feel is that this particular, we as Bowler, we are extremely cautious about investors' money, and we feel that it's a
Hmm.
responsibility. But talking about us only as us, we are completely debt free. We are a completely profitable business. We are sitting on cash. We have only Fortune 500 blue chip client. We don't deal with any Tom, Dick, and Harry. As I said, that we only have like a top fortune, and our client base will be like that in the next 4 5 years as well, or for the
Hmm.
next 10 years. And we have a very sustainable growth model because we are asset light, so we don't have any fixed expenses on our books. And finally, our clear use of IPO proceeds is only to fuel expansion and working capital. We are not like it's just a cycle that we are fueling it. So Voler is, as I said, we appreciate that what has been happening in the SME IPO scenario, but with all these 4 5 key drivers for us, we feel that we can maintain financial transparency and sustainable growth and strong client relationships. Investors have
Hmm.
nothing to worry with us.
All right, because this marks the end of our segment for today. Thank you so much for taking our time and joining us today on ET Market. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Neha. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining in.